Hello, and welcome everybody to another episode of Pod Strickland. I'm your host, Shwin and Prez. This is episode 410. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Prez, that is at _Presidente on Twitter /X. Prez, how are you doing on another scorching morning this week, on this Friday morning?
I'm doing all right. I feel like going back to sleep until we get some proper Knicks slop to your little caption over here.
Yes. Yes, some positive Knicks slop. That's not just like, oh, OG Anunoby is upset that the Knicks aren't giving him fucking 5 touches in the first 3 minutes of the game or something. Who the fuck knows what he wants? All right, we're gonna probably talk about OG. Probably talk about a lot of things. But before we do any of that, I do have to make a few announcements. First, being that Strickland has an Instagram. Check that out. That is at the Strickland Strick.land on Instagram. We're posting all kinds of new content on there. Strickland also has a YouTube channel where you may be watching this podcast. If you are, if not done so already, please hit like, subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment. That'd be a huge help to us. The Strickland has merchandise, which you can find on our website at www. There's a link that'll take you to the merchandise store. And did I even say did I say the website name? I don't think I did. www.thestrict.land. There's a link that'll take you to the merchandise store. There'll be all kinds of cool stuff you can find there. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, coffee mugs, water bottles, you name it, we've got it. The Strickland also has a Patreon, which you can subscribe to. There are a number of different tiers. There's a $6 tier that gets you access to Pod Strickland, the podcast that I host. Every Friday, the Press, you also get access to Takes from Obvious Bozos, our news podcast that is hosted by Andrew Steele, a.k.a. Doug, along with Zach Blatter. And you get access to the Strickland Discord, where the conversation never stops. The further tiers, there's a $9 tier that gets you access to Strickland and Roll, my solo pod where I rant about the Knicks even more. You also get access to one of our premium articles by Matthew Murdo, one of the best in the business. And now you get access to Strictly NFL, which, you guessed it, is our NFL podcast that is hosted by Constantine Metricos. There are further tiers. There's a $15 tier, $30 tier, $50 tier, and $100 tier. This comes with a variety of additional benefits, like listening to pod recordings, merchandise discounts, and even potentially hosting a podcast alongside yours truly one day, whether you choose to subscribe or not. None of this would be possible without you. And none of this would be possible without BetOnline. BetOnline is your number one source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Finals this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline. The game starts here. We're not going to start with the Knicks because honestly, nothing has happened with the Knicks that matters. Nothing has happened so far. We will talk about the Knicks at some point, I'm sure. But today, we're not starting with the Knicks. We're going to start with probably the dumbest fucking trade I've seen in, I don't know. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I saw a trade that was this fucking stupid. The Bulls trade highly coveted friend of the pod, now turned enemy for life, Alex Caruso, to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Josh Giddey. That's it. If you think there's more to this trade, there's not. That's it. I will forgive you for thinking there should be more to this trade because I fucking think there should be more to this trade, but there's not. And there's not because the Bulls are a fucking joke that are run by morons, that is owned by a fucking absentee fucking fat piece of shit who doesn't care about his basketball team and cares more about his shitty fucking baseball team. Are they shitty? I'm pretty sure they suck, right? It's the White Sox. They still suck.
The White Sox, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he owns a shitty fucking baseball team that he cares about. I don't really like. I just don't know what to make. Like this is the dumbest trade I've seen in years. This is an awful, awful, awful trade. They had offers that included multiple first-round picks at the deadline that were offered for Alex Caruso. They didn't want to trade him then because they were trying to compete or something, which fine, fair enough. They made the plan. They lost in the second play-in game to why am I forgetting? To the Miami Heat, of course, the champions of the play-in every year. So they lost to the Miami Heat in the second play-in game, but I don't get this trade. Like I don't get it. Like I actually don't mind, and I think that people need to start preparing themselves for this stuff. I think you're going to see a lot more player for player transactions. We already saw it quite a bit. We saw it with the Knicks, right?
You mean without picks?
Yeah, without a lot of picks. I mean, we saw this
Why
with the
is
Knicks.
that?
I just think that picks are becoming way more valuable than people think they are with the new CBA, and they're being priced like that. The Knicks got OG and an OB, basically just giving quickly RJ Barrett and a high second this year. They also acquired Bojan Bogdanovic and Burks for just basically Grimes and Fournier. I think they gave 2 seconds in the deal too, but whatever. I think people, and then there was another trade in the season that was like this too that I can't remember now off the top of my head. But you're seeing more of these trades, and I think it's because picks were going more valuable. Which and that's to the team that is kind of giving up the talent. Let's say, how the Bulls didn't get any picks in this trade is unbelievable to me. Josh Giddey, like if you want to trade Alex Caruso for a young player because you're like we still want to try to win ball games, and okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I think that's a very reasonable stance to have. What is not reasonable is for that fucking player to be Josh fucking Giddey, who is a pederast, and get no picks in the process. Like, I'm sorry, that's just
the no picks thing is the part that pissed me off because like I know different people value Giddey differently, right? Like, oh, like he can't really defend and he can't shoot, which are both true, but like he's still a 20-year-old wing size ball handler who's a great passer, blah blah blah. So there's like arguments either way. But my
20,
point is
20 going on 16, some might
yeah,
say.
yeah. The less we say, the better. Google, if you don't know what the fuck we're talking about, just I don't know, just tweet us and we'll fuck up your day or whatever. But anyway, the whole point is like if a team has a bunch of you're not trading with a vacuum. If a team has more shit, you tax them. That's how fucking negotiations work. And the Bulls didn't care. The Bulls negotiated like a bunch of cowards. I promise you this is what happened. They said, "We want Josh Giddey and picks." Sam Presti said, "No, fuck off." And I promise you the Bulls immediately conceded. They like the fact that OKC has still a gazillion picks and
Most
we're
of them
able
suck for what it's worth. But
yeah, it
yes,
doesn't
agree.
even fucking matter. Like when the
But
Knicks
that's
traded
kind of the point.
when
That's
we
kind of the point.
traded right, when we traded with OKC, the whole thing was they had excess picks and wanted to fucking take a random home run swing on Usman
Jiang,
Jiang.
your boy,
My boy, RIP, right? RIP Usman
bring him
Jiang.
home. Bring him home.
Yeah, bring him home back to France or something. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I'm still rooting for him though. Shout out Uzi. But
Yeah,
like
bring him to the Garden. Bring him to Westchester. We'll get him right.
like the whole point was they gave us 3 picks for 1 because they could. Those picks have, to your point, although picks generally mean more for good reason with how CBA things are going and where the league is going financially. If you have picks that you know you're not going to use, that by definition decreases the value to them. They are worth more to a team acquiring them, like the Knicks, who were like, wow, these picks could be useful in a superstar deal in the future, than they were to the Thunder. It's the same thing here, but the Bulls did
It's
no such negotiation. They just
this
did.
is like the dumbest. This is so dumb to me for so many reasons, but like just at a very basic level, if you're trying to rebuild, then you absolutely should get picks. Then you have to get picks. That's like the key to. It doesn't matter if they're great picks or whatever, but you need to get more bites at the apple. Okay, so that's what you need. If you turn down offers like that, and I feel like pretty confident they had offers like that, even still. There was some report I saw that some team in the lottery offered them a pick this year for Caruso. Who knows? I mean, I get that this year is not the strongest draft ever, but I'd like to have another bite at the apple if I was Chicago.
I would. This is my thing. Like with that rumor, by the way, like Josh Giddey is worth more if you don't care about him being a pedo.
Is
Huge
he
ass.
though? He's not good. Josh Giddey is not good. He is not efficient. He cannot shoot. He can't defend. So his entire value requires you to put the ball in his hands and then
He's not good.
Bill,
He's not good right now, but like he's 21, and I think there's still reasonable time for him to like become passable at shoot. Like Alex Caruso was a fucking garbage shooter at 21, right? Like
but
it's a
he's
lot
a.
of guys are.
What
I
I'm not
understand
getting
what
really
you're
what.
saying. I understand what you're saying though, because like the whole point of this is the Bulls are trying to they're eschewing picks to be good now, but he's not good now. So that I get your point for sure. But like I'm just saying like it's a weird gamble because they're trying to like they're trying to I don't know. It's weird. If we had a hypothetical discussion on a prior pod of like, what's the best player do you think the Bulls can get for Alex Caruso in terms of winning now? You're right. There's a 100,000,000,000% chance there are players better than Josh Giddey
But
right now.
that's actually the part though that's insane to me because it's like
Mm-hmm.
so their literal evaluation is like Josh Giddey can help us win ball games
Right now.
unless and at least look that's how it looks on the outside now. If they are able to dump Zach LaVine and don't bring back DeMar DeRozan, look, maybe then you at least you'll be like, all right, well, they're clearly at least just like leading into a rebuild, and um, Josh Giddey was a guy that they wanted to take a swing on. Fine, I don't think it takes away from the fact that this trade is terrible value. This is terrible value. You're trading Alex
You could have
Caruso,
gotten more. That's the thing. Like,
right?
regardless of what your intention is, it's like you could have gotten a better deal. There's no two ways about it. Nobody can tell me that like
Would you
that.
rather have Jalen Green than Josh Giddey?
That's a good one. Um, I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
I think I would. Would you rather
I think I
have?
might. I think I might as well. But Josh Giddey is they're like opposite players in a lot of ways.
Would you rather
Jalen
have Moses Moody than Josh Giddey?
Moses remains near and dear to my heart as a Prez son. So clearly, yes.
Would you rather have? Look, I mean, obviously the Pistons wouldn't do this now, but let's say the Knicks had held on to him. Would you do Quentin Grimes? Would you want Quentin Grimes over Josh Giddey?
No.
All right. See,
The
my point.
upside is just like
Yeah,
Grimes is better right now. Don't get me wrong,
yeah.
but like
My argument has really. I mean, I'm just going through people in
yeah, I
this
feel you.
draft
I
now.
feel you.
Would you rather have Bones Highland than Josh Giddey? No.
My God, I was gonna fucking hang up right now.
No, you're not talking to Stacy. Um,
I thought this was a safe space, Shwin.
but I can't believe this. I'm like I had been thinking about this since the fucking Woj bomb dropped, and I was like, you get the like drip the way it drips, right? So you get like the first tweet, so you're like, okay, fine, there's probably picks involved. Then you get the second tweet where Woj is like,
Like what happened with our Grimes trade, right? Where it was
yeah,
like, oh yes, it's not just for Alec Burks. Like 3 hours later.
yeah, and then they get the second tweet where it's like, oh, the fucking Thunder will give him a 4-year, $80 million extension. They think he's Andre Iguodala going to the Warriors. Like I was like, all right, dude, get off your fucking knees. And then the third tweet is like, the Bulls love Josh Giddey and they think that he's gonna fucking he still has star upside and blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay, whatever. And you're like, okay, so where's like the where's the other shit? Where's the other details? And there's nothing. It's just never happened. And I was just like,
it's just such asymmetrical value. And like there's nothing wrong inherently with an asymmetrical trade because some stuff is inevitably going to be worth more like picks, right? To one team than another pick. But like this is just the extreme version of that. Josh Giddey was completely fucking useless and on the Thunder, and they have a zillion fucking picks, which are also probably going to end up useless. And the Bulls were like, whatever. We're going to pretend that Josh Giddey is the most important thing to them, and we can't ask for any picks.
The funny thing is I just wonder if you call it like, could you just gotten the 12th pick from Thunder for Caruso? Like,
Probably. If all you have to do is not be a fucking loser about negotiating. Like I'm this God, man. Like it's I just hate it. I hate it. We've seen Presti make a lot of good trades, but like this is the first time the Thunder are actually good, so it's like infinitely more annoying.
It's also just annoying because you're like, there's like fucking 15 teams in the league. They're like, yeah, we'd love to have Alex Caruso. I'm sorry, I can't.
I need one of those Shams athletic exposés about just like the negotiations and the shit show in Chicago or whatever. If we don't get that, I'm gonna be so pissed.
It's again, it's one of the most flabbergasting trades I've seen in a long time. And
I'm not even like the highest Caruso person. Like this is his first year where he is both healthy. This is his first year where he has respectable volume from three. Accuracy as well. Like he had a phenomenal year, right? Like kudos to him. Historically, before that, you're talking a player who's not shooting enough threes for a role player and is not healthy for more than 2/3 of the year, which is fine at the right cost, right? Like that's still a useful rotation player, especially for a team that needs useful rotation players like the Thunder or the Bulls or 15 other teams, like you said. But you have some people who are like, oh, Alex Caruso is like a Derek White level player. Like, please stop. But even if he's not, you gotta get more for him. Like, do you buy that they had like a 3-pick offer during the season? I buy that.
Yes, I buy it
100%. I don't. Obviously, that can mean a lot of things, right? Depending on like the type of picks, protections, blah 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 blah. But like, Jesus Christ, man! Like, and you know what else makes it fucking annoying is, I feel like back in the day in the Knicks dark ages, like there were a solid handful of teams that were like kind of fucking around with bad deals constantly. But these days, there's really not many, right? It's pretty much like,
even if you get a bad deal, like there's almost always like you kind of look at it and you're like, I can kind of see it. And okay, if this thing works out, like I genuinely mean this. Like I don't think there's any way the Bulls win this trade aside from Josh Giddey becoming an all-star, which personally, like, I'm sorry, I think Josh Giddey fucking sucks and I think he's terrible.